Uh-oh. Are we live? We are live. Good. All right. Vivi, how are you? You got the little circle going on. Uh-oh. What is that noise? Viv? Viv, we've lost you. Okay. Vivi, something is funky with those ears, that ear set. I think you might want to.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can. I know you're getting high tech here, but.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to have to do without the headphones.
Well, welcome to another week, another episode with Tanya. I'm Tanya Abreu and
Viviana.
Viviana, say the whole name. It always inspires me.
Viviana Hernandez St. Louis.
That's great. You need to add a couple more names in there. We have had a fantastic week, both as friends, as women, as family, and certainly as very proud iPartners in IQMK. MusNatural, I personally have gotten 3 amazing, honest, articulate testimonials about the effect of Muscadine grapes, seeds, and skin extract in people's lives. And I'm not going to give those people away because I'm going to invite them on the show. And then we've also made great strides in pulling together our January 13th through 15th annual gathering, annual meeting. I'm just calling it like a big party because you know what? Parties are always memorable. And if you mix learning in with lots of entertainment and energy and just the right information, you get an experience that really transforms your life. And in this case, we are talking about transformation of life and health and wealth. And so I'm on a high this past couple of days. I worked right through the weekend and it's just been incredible. And tonight's show is great. Vivi, what have you been up to? What have you been thinking about this week?
Oh, so excited about that too. I've been very excited about our Mexico expansion. So I've been working hard to translate and get all those resources and get ready to create some big leadership here in Mexico. So I'm excited about that and have a couple of excited to be in Navolato with the Mexico team. I'm going, Quino. So that has been really exciting to kind of plan out and see family and introduce them to this amazing opportunity and product. That's my little Avi.
That's all right. She's beautiful.
So yeah, I'm excited about Orlando and other awesome things happening. We've already bought our tickets. We bought our airplane. We can't wait to see family, new friends, and learn. And like you said, Tanya, if we're having fun, we're learning. So I'm excited.
And there's a lot of people that have been watching on other podcast platforms that probably think we're just some like weird organization. I want to tell you that if you're not an iPartner with IQMK and you're listening to us and you haven't tried Muscadine grapes and not really sure what this is all about, I still want to stress to you, visit us in Orlando. It is going to be a meeting that has 3 components. 1, to study antioxidants and to study what I call functional nutrition. Next week, I will introduce one of our keynote speakers, an amazing nutritionist who counseled oncology patients for many years at a large Florida health system. We're going to learn about what it is that can increase our longevity as well as just make more vibrant our quality of life. The second component of this meeting is, hey, so you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to bang out profits. You don't want to work for somebody else. You want more time with your family. You want to lay your own game out and play it. We're going to help you figure out what that might mean. Of course, we're going to talk about our opportunity because it's working for hundreds of us, but we're going to give you the tools that would work in any field. And then on Saturday morning, we really are going to have an amazing, and it's open to the public by ticket, but if you're a part of our conference, it of course is included, an amazing morning about finding your North Star, really understanding spiritually, emotionally, and personally, what's your purpose, man? Like, what really drives you? What really makes you want to get out of bed in the morning and keeps you awake? And how do you harness that? How do you harness that to live the rest of your life in abundance? Abundance of satisfaction first, peace, health, money, all those things. And we have internationally recognized speakers joining us. As well as our CEO, who I consider a true guru of that kind of manifestations, Mike Ascari. So yes, we're excited. Well, let's go right into tonight, okay? Because one of the amazing things, I've now been 9 months, going on 10 months with MusNatural and this antioxidant way of living, right? Anti-rusting, anti falling apart, basically. And you know, I have I would say maybe 50 people I've watched their journeys with MusNatural, and there are a couple of things that come up every time someone has like a wow experience with it. Sometimes it's big, like, you know, diabetes or high blood pressure, or, you know, cancer treatment symptom decreases, those kinds of things, big things. But sometimes, and more often than not, it's things like, here's the top three that I hear. One, I can sleep better. Two, I have far more patience, fill in the blank, for my husband, for my children, for my wife, for my job. I am just much more level-headed. And then lastly, and people usually say this on the down low and with a whisper, I'm not constipated anymore, or I don't have diarrhea. Like, I'm regular. For the first time in years, I'm regular. And I'm going to turn it over to Vivi, because I think, you know, Vivi, without embarrassing you, that's one of the very first things you talked about. And I know that you've done a little research for tonight to talk about the kinds of digestive disorders that are really common to the people that are listening.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, this is a very real thing, right? And you don't sometimes realize why these things happen. And I've really come to the conclusion that it is that gut brain thing, right? There's a lot of stress in our lives at many different times in many different stages. And I do attribute, you know, some of those symptoms to sometimes a high stress, because this really started in, like, you know, in my young adulthood. And it's something that I've struggled throughout, and not realizing the importance of, you know, really good nutrition, specifically with antioxidants, and how that can totally change, you know, so many different things about your health. That I started to actually now in my early 40s to realize that, you know, there are many specific things that we can do. And I have actually had probably the last 4 months of regularity. And again, you know, that is just something that, to honestly, I mean, that can really throw off your day, honestly. And, you know,
Your life, you can't go, you know, it's crazy. Well, we have two really crazy, wonderful, cool guests that'll share some of that, because you know what? As women, we're used to dealing with lots of distress physically. I mean, we are. Yeah. It's just the nature of the whole monthly cycle thing. Yeah. But for men to have digestive disorder and not be able to function, you know, in sports, in play, as a man, is really crazy. And it affects all of us. Now, colitis and some of the other IBS in particular affects women more. But in general, you can't have a good day if your gut is off. I mean, everything you hear about, it's a gut feeling. I have a good gut feeling that today is going to be okay. Well, if your gut is not okay, it ain't going anywhere. And that's a sad truth. Anyhow, go ahead and let us know a little bit about
the screen and my I'm not able to go down to actually the share button. So I'm having a little technical difficulty here. But I do want to speak about it. Some of the most common digestive problems or diseases that are out there, and sorry about this graph because I'm not able to pull it up for whatever reason right now. It's not working for me. Is number one, kidney stones. And two, IBS, which many of you may be familiar with, irritable bowel syndrome. And then coming in at 3 is Crohn's disease. And number 4 comes in as constipation, which is something that we were talking about. And then appendicitis. Ulcers are also there. And gas in our intestines, which, is also something that many people really experience. And then the last one, which probably many of us have heard or people get most commonly diagnosed for, is gastritis. And a lot of those, or most of those actually, sometimes, very mimic themselves as the same symptoms, right? And so I think I told you before that I lost a very dear family member of mine very early to colon cancer. And he was experiencing a lot of the symptoms that, many of this digestive problems are. And he kept being sent back with, gastritis, gastritis, and giving something for that. But it was something, deeper than that. And so there's definitely, those are some of the top digestive systems that most people really experience at one point in their lifetime. And many people for, just years and years. And so it's, so, oh my gosh, just so exciting to be able to find something that you can really complement with your nutrition that is going to relieve and help you, live a healthier life.
Yeah. Now, I want to draw everyone's attention to one of the most common diagnoses, which is gastritis, right? It's what you get sent home from the emergency room. You go to the emergency room, you really think you're dying because it feels like there's a knife stuck in your belly, and they say, you've got gas, which is like the most embarrassing thing, and gastritis. And if you look at the definition for Crohn's, gastritis, colitis, the underlying condition is all inflammation, right? It's all stress and inflammation. And one of the things that I think is most important for us to realize when we begin talking about why Muscadine grapes or other fruit antioxidants with fiber, because I have to put that in there, that's really important, is that it's an anti-inflammatory. And when you think about your stomach and the things you put in it and the stress that it experiences, you have to think about that spasticity and that inflammation and in some way keeping that calm. Well, let's go to our first guest, who is the guy that changed my life with Muscadine. Like, I met him 25 years ago, and I heard him sing a song called Young Revolutionary, and I fell in love with him as a balladeer, right? As somebody who could fill a room up with music and make everyone's heart feel something. And I am so proud 25 years later to be helping him come back to the world stage digitally and in real time as that great balladeer with a message to the world. But when he called me, and through the years, I knew he was having some health problems, some anxiety related things, inflammation, all kinds of things. And I talked to him now almost a year ago, And he said, this is going to sound really weird, and I don't want you to think I'm like join some kind of cult, but there's this thing called MusNatural. And in a couple of months, it changed my colitis, it changed my eczema, and it changed my outlook. And I'm ready to like go back in the world. And will you come out there with me? And I was so touched. And like the first thing out of my mouth was yes, but like I can't barely get out of bed. I have I'm going to get a lumpectomy surgery on my lower spine because I can't even pick up a pot. And he said, don't do anything. I'm going to get Mike. This is his favorite word. I'm going to get Mike to send you some Muscadine. The rest is history, guys. A year later, I've got reverse type 2 diabetes. I have no pain in my lower back. I'm hoping any day now that my knees resolve totally from arthritis. But man, it's been wonderful. So I'd like to welcome Yahin Quino McWhinney, the founder, the lead singer, the social activist, the global citizen that we all know and love, to Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Heard it through the grapevine. How
go.
much longer would you be mine?
Wow.
You guys got a great show with a great song, great theme song.
What's the grapes? We stole it from the California raisins. Now you're out in California tonight, not Mexico? Or are you in Mexico?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego. I'm coming in just to do some business. I'm going to hang out with my mom a little bit, then I'm going to head back. But yes.
Okay. So I just told your whole story. You got anything to add, or we just like going to bring on next guest now?
I love you too, Tanya. and just it's been so exciting, this last year, and the way we've been able to combine all of the movements in Big Mountain and with MusNatural has been beautiful because, it's just two entities, two companies, two families that are really just trying to do good work and positive, heal people and make people feel better about themselves, not just physically and mentally. So yeah, I'm on the top of the world right now.
That's
Awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Well, talk a little bit about when you weren't on top of the world. Tonight we have two guests, right? And they're both really cool, very attractive, very dynamic men who will talk about their digestive disorders. I love that.
Yeah. I don't have any problem talking about it because pain is not something that that we should tolerate if we can get around it in this life, right? Yes, I suffered for years with this, having to watch everything I ate. I pretty much, right up until the time that I started taking Muscadine full time, I had pretty much cut out pasta. I wasn't eating bread. Any sort of like wheat product, I was very weary of. And it was just because it would bring me excruciating pain. I spend a lot of time on an airplane. And I'm talking like 15, 17-hour flights.
Right.
And when you sit down like that and you don't have a chance to exercise, and I would dread being on an airplane for that reason. So that was probably like the most uncomfortable situation that I was dealing with. But I was also dealing with a lack of energy. I was dealing with not having that sort of backup that would take care of my underlying nutritional needs, right? I'm not a good eater. I'm a guy that can forget to eat that's just the way I am. I'm a nervous wreck like that. And it's not, it's not any, it's just part of my personality. We all have different little ticks about us. I have a brother that doesn't have any problems with his digestive system, right? But we all have these unique little idiosyncrasies health-wise that we have to investigate. We need to get to the bottom of it, because walking
Right.
around and living life in pain, that's no way. That's no way to live life. But I dealt with that. You know what I mean? And when me and Mike connected for real this time, and he had his own company, um, all of that is now history. And I don't I'm still kind of conscious. I'm not a real big bread guy, but I think I've already kind of developed sort of a little bit of a phobia. Um, but now, now I eat pasta,
Yeah.
and I just don't suffer any pain anymore. Every once in a while, I'll feel a little bit, and I know that my intestines are just weak. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Um, but I know that Muscadine has totally changed my whole life around for that one reason. But it's also taken care of my eczema, like you mentioned. You know, uh, but one thing that I didn't expect was just sort of the mental clarity and the ability
Yeah.
to do artistic work, right? I mean, I really feel like the last 2 years I've been writing the best songs of my life. I feel like, I just have a jump on things that the shit that I'm coming up with is fresh, and it sounds cool, and just just the way I sing, and my tongue just, it just feels looser. It feels just more hip, more young, more cool.
Oh, Tanya got muted. I don't know. We can't.
Oh, Tanya, we can't hear you.
We
I'm
can't hear.
so sorry. I had a dog barking. Like that's my baby right there. Is my dog. I wanted to say, I have to say, as your publicist, that you can go to bigmountainmusic.com to see some of this new energy. I love this idea. I want to get a T-shirt that says "Muscadine makes me cool." Because I just think that
You are
hopefully,
the marketing genius, Tanya.
well, I have to tell you this. A lot of
Young
people,
and cool.
young and cool. A lot of people know that I share custody of my grandkids, which is a joy. Both their parents are really kind of mobile people. So, and when I first had them, it's almost 2 years now. People would say, "Oh, these are your grandkids." No one calls them my grandkids anymore. Because your kids are so cute. I'm like, what? Yes,
Those are
so
some lucky. Those are some lucky grandkids. I'll tell you that.
oh, but it's just that whole antioxidant. I'm going to say it again as the science kind of element of this. That whole antioxidant that stays in your bloodstream. That's why Quino, you pop this stuff like people eat jelly beans, really. And part of it is this. You need a consistent amount of good antioxidants flowing in your blood, feeding every one of your organs, including all of those miles of intestines. I mean, it's crazy when you really look at the digestive system, but you can't just pop 2 pills in the morning and that's it, you know? A lot of people take probiotics. Well, it's interesting, but muscadine is a precursor, the type of phytochemicals that are in muscadine, grape seeds and extract are the precursors or the foundation of your body being able to make its own probiotics. It is a probiotic. It
A
is an
prebiotic, yes,
anti-inflammatory.
because you're
It's a
feeding.
I'm sorry,
You're not only
prebiotic.
feeding. You're not only feeding yourself, but you're also feeding the organisms that live in you, that is part of your existence. We forget that we have so many organisms living on our skin and
Right.
inside our gut. Our genes, our body is made of 22,000 genes, but they say that the genes in our biome, the organisms that live
Right.
on us, is in millions. There's 6 to 10 million genes. So the organisms that live on us and inside of us are part of us. They are our army. We have to take care of them. one way is for us to give them high antioxidant rich foods that are organic, that are raw. Um, and muscadine is it's just, you're not going to find it anywhere else um, in the world, but in that,
Mhm.
I mean, I know that there's lots of rich antioxidant rich fruits out there. You've seen them, and they've been a big fad for a long time, but we've stumbled upon the greatest one. And not only have we stumbled upon the greatest one, but we've stumbled upon the company that is paying more attention to the quality of this muscadine seed and skin. It's the factory. I've been there in North Carolina, in Advance, North Carolina. It is a pristine company. You can eat off the floor of this factory. And they've put so much care into it. They have this big, huge freezer that is filled with a supply of muscadine for decades. All right. So we know we know we have a good supply of it.
Wow.
We know it's the best. We know that Mike Asgari is an angel, and is so concerned about people's health, and he just loves to see people bettering their lives, bettering their economic situation, crawling out of depression, and finding a new family and friends to network with. um yeah. This muscadine is something very special, and you got to jump on this, my people. It's gonna, if it doesn't help you clearly, it's going to help somebody in your life, because we're all pretty much, we're dealing with this physical reality, this
Yeah.
life, that these bodies need help. And a
Yeah.
lot of times we just ignore our health. We ignore the nutrients that we really need to be putting into our body, like MusNatural muscadine, that not only, like we said, works as this high antioxidant, but is this amazing source of fiber that is going to keep your intestines not just flowing and clear, but it's going to be healing your intestines as it makes its way through your body. It's the beautiful thing about this amazing food is that it heals your body as it makes its way through your body. So all of your digestive tract, as it makes its way through your blood, it's healing your veins, it's healing your arteries. Or arteries. That's what it was. It wasn't the veins, right? It's the arteries that it's healing. Yes, it's amazing.
No, and I just want to draw everyone's attention to the fact that we're talking about digestive disorders and how antioxidants, in particular, the one that we promote, muscadine. It's a grape that has 30 chromosomes instead of the 29 regular of a grape. We've all heard of resveratrol for the treatment of heart disease and cancer. But one of the things that we know is when you eat antioxidants, it heals the digestive tract. So eating MusNatural, muscadine grapes, or taking the liquid extract will heal your digestive tract. In fact, before we introduce our next guest, here's one of those little startling scientific facts. Just Google grape seed extract and colon cancer. There are some very, very strong research projects or research studies, but also some clinical trials that are being started and have also been done out of Wake Forest University and a few others on the efficacy of grapeseed extracts and the biochemical markers in grapeseed to actually not just prevent colon cancer, but reverse it, or at the minimum to slow down its spread. Colon cancer is an aggressive cancer. I've lost 3 family members to colon
I lost
cancer.
my father. I lost my father to colon cancer. Yes,
It
sir.
is, it is really effed up. And part
And you know
of it
what?
is,
And I know when I'm taking, I don't think about cancer because it's not on my top priority, right? But I know that the anti-cancer properties in Muscadine, MusNatural's Muscadine,
Mm-hmm.
that's my ace in the hole, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like me putting that money in that bank account, saying, I know that I might not be feeling it, the anti-cancer properties that this amazing berry grape has, um, but I know it's helping me I've already seen it help me in so many other ways. I know that we all have cancer cells in us. They're
Right.
all there. They're
Right.
all ready to explode at some point when our body gets too weak to be able to resist them, right? So yeah, that's my ejército. That's my army.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
I was just thinking that, knowledge, right? Because 20 chromosomes, it makes muscadine different. And not all antioxidants are the same. And we have some power and control over what we decide to feed our body and what we can feed our body and and what we can teach others to do to better their health. So that's one of the most amazing things too that just really, really excite me about being part of IQMK, because there's such an opportunity here to be able to, share that knowledge, right? And then have a mindset, right? That's one of our core values. Mindset is to really, be intentional about how we take care of ourselves. Like you were saying, Quino, right? Like we have choices that we can do, that we can make for ourselves, and then we get all this added benefits, right? Like prevention, and that's one big thing for me too. I have very young children, and I'm in a point in my life where there's been a lot of things that are creeping up that I didn't expect, but that's just also the process of getting into the next chapters of our lives. But we have that power and control to be able to take preventative measures to really, give our bodies grace, right?
Right.
And that's, so important. Thank you for sharing, Quino. And, this is just such a great way to really not just show the power of muscadine, but show that, every one of us is susceptible to these things. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I first of all, I want to stop because a really dear friend of mine, a co-personal development trainer, a real inspiration, somebody who in my lowest times was right there for me. Ralph Campbell is on tonight, and he just put a little note up, I want some. And Ralph, I will drive, bring you a bottle, you buy me some tea, we will catch up. I'm so sorry I haven't thought of you, because you really are a believer in clarity and in physical health, contributing to spiritual health. And I've just been so busy with this new project that I forgot you for a minute. And I love you. And I will.
Ah,
I
thanks.
love that. If you ask, you
Thanks
shall
for tuning
receive.
in.
Yeah. So this gives me a good segue, because Quino had a most amazing introduction to West Africa with his new music in Accra, Ghana, and I was honored to be there. Kofi Zormello was the promoter, the King Mello Foundation. I have to mention them.
Yeah.
Of course, also, do you want to give a little bit of the background on why we were in Ghana?
Well, this
Todd
last
Weeks,
time,
of course.
it was just 5 weeks ago. Kofi Zormello is one of the persons that organizes UNICEF events. So we were there to give 5,000 shoes away to needy young people in Ghana, and we were also just got to be network with just an amazing group of people. Ghana is just one of these places that is means so much, has so much meaning, and has so many interesting beautiful people there, inspired me on so many different levels. So, you know, I mean, it's just not. It was so special to be going there and partaking in such an important event. And of course, we did some good networking while we were there, because we were not only very concerned about making sure that the event that we were taking part in was a huge success, but we were also introducing for the first time MusNatural, and you know, looking to find some just interesting people that understand and get it, right? You know, this is not something that you should have to sell.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
something that people understand, that listen, this is a health supplement that is going to improve your health. So what is more important than health? Health equates to success, health equates to happiness, health equates to effectiveness, right? So yes,
Well,
all my love goes out to Ghana.
I have to say this. When we met the man we're going to introduce in a moment, we had no idea we were going to share
No,
MusNatural.
yeah, we didn't
We had
realize.
come from, no, I'm going to tell,
Yeah.
because I don't drink. Like,
Well,
I
what's funny is that
don't drink.
we got there. What it would have been like around 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we had gone to somebody's little nightclub, and when in Ghana and you're with some really cool people that own
You just got to
nightclubs,
go with the
and
flow.
just got to go with the flow. And all of a sudden, I think I've drank like probably a half a bottle of wine myself, which is just totally. And then the gentleman who owns the club says to us, "Oh, we have to go to the best little after hours spot. It's called Republic Bar and Grill. Get in the car." And I look at Quino. It's just the two of us. At that point, we said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Car, and we walk into this wonderful vibe, right? It's outdoors, it's indoors, there's these posters on the wall, and then all of a sudden someone says, "Here, have a ginger shot." And I'm thinking, ginger? Now that's good for me. That is an anti-inflammatory, and it's good for my immune system. And so here we are. They have a camera on us, and boom, I whip this thing back, and it's freaking moonshine. Hold on a second.
The dog
It's
is on.
moonshine. And it is this wonderful West African moonshine, but nonetheless, I wasn't expecting it. And the next thing I know, somehow I sat down at a wonderful booth with all these people that were happy and joyful and talking. And all of a sudden, this man appeared before me, and he said, "Can I get you a, oh my goodness, it's not
Soursop.
Soursop. Can I get you a soursop juice? It's a great antioxidant." And, because I must have looked green. And then we started having the great antioxidant conversation that led to this person and his brother being our first distributors in Accra Ghana, committed
Yay!
to
Applause,
IQMK
applause.
in West Africa. You're ready, Kofi?
Yeah.
Woo!
Ghana in the house. Ghana in the house.
Hey guys, so happy to be here. So happy to be here.
Good.
And of course, we found out that you had your own ailment that you were dealing with. But go ahead and finish off, bro. Sorry
Tell
for
us your
interrupting you.
story.
Wow. First of all, I do remember that night. Tanya was sitting by herself, nursing a water. And so I went up to her. I was like, "Tanya, hi." I introduced myself. I told her about how I had seen that Quino was in town through a friend's, Facebook post. Quino, my God, I know that song. I know that group. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And knowing that you were in town and now you are at my bar, this is great. Welcome, So, we're talking about music business pretty much. And then I see Tanya like drinking the water. I was like, "What happened?" And she explained how they'd been to like different places, and then now here she's just nursing on water, which I totally understand. I say, "Tanya, you know what? I think we should have something. Let me just go inside real quick And I came out and I gave her a soursop drink. So the first thing he said was, "You make this here?" I was like, "Yes, we do. In-house for now, just for pretty much making available to our customers, right? But I also live on this on a daily basis." And she's like, "Wow." And that's how one thing led to another. And we just started talking. Next thing I know, we're talking about MusNatural and Muscadine, which, by the way, I had no idea about.
Wow. Yeah. Me either, Kofi. Muscadine came to my life in April. Late March, April.
Now you were drinking. Now one of the things that your amazing soursop juice did was it relieved your situation, right? You were dealing with some pain there, and when you were drinking the soursop, you felt a big difference, and you felt like it was the antioxidants that made that difference.
Right, I can talk about that too. So a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, I walked into a pharmacy and literally asked them for the strongest painkiller they had, right? Which I think is what led to, my condition, my pain in my stomach, because I had tennis elbow. I just started, let me be more specific. It's about 6 years ago. I just started playing tennis, full time, full swing tennis, and literally, like, I guess, blew out my 2 elbows at the same time.
Wow.
Or what tennis elbow. And Quino, I think you just started playing tennis. Whenever you have tennis elbow, it is painful. Anyone who plays tennis knows about tennis elbow. You can have like tennis wrist, tennis elbow. So anyway, so I had tennis elbow on both my elbows. Very painful. And in my line of work, I need to like talk to people, shake people's hands on a nightly basis. And one day on my way to work, I went to this pharmacy. I was like, I need the strongest painkiller available. Just give it to me right now. And it was given to me because in Ghana it's that easy, all right? And whatever it was, I took it for a few days. And then since then, I think it's pretty much the one that is responsible for this, stuff in my stomach. Really painful. And the only thing I could use to soothe it, at that time, I was already, we're kind of new of soursop iced tea from the leaf, not from the fruits. And I tell you, all these years, that's what I've been using to like manage it. Anytime I have an agitation in my stomach, I take it down within a few minutes, it's gone. So I swore by it, right? And that's what I've been doing. And then through that, it's, my brother and I spoke about it, and we're like, why don't we have this available to all at our bar?
Mm-hmm.
Then we started producing this soursop also to our customers, for our cherished customers. And then, so then the very next one, we met, Tanya, everybody else that night. And we spoke about MusNatural, but then we continued the conversation the next day. Tanya gave me what I found out to be her very last bottle, which I will always say this, which I really, I do appreciate, Tanya. And then I started taking it on the Monday morning. This is the Monday you guys left Ghana. You guys left on Monday night, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I started taking 2 tabs of the MusNatural on Monday morning at dawn when I got to work, because I work at night, right? And then, like magic, I didn't feel the need to, I slept, woke up. I didn't feel the need to, immediately like pop my soursop, iced tea, because there were no agitations. I'm like, wow, where's those 2 capsules? What's going on? I was like, this
Wow.
Yeah, 2 capsules. And
Meanwhile, okay, can I break in a little bit? Meanwhile, we're talking, and Kofi says, I don't know, it might be cancer, it might be my lifestyle. My lifestyle is I own a club. I do indulge in alcohol quite consistently. I'm not sure, it might be cirrhosis of the liver. And I'm looking at this guy who obviously looks like beautiful and healthy and just vibrant and strong. And I go, Bro, I don't think it's cirrhosis of the liver, man. I think that if it was cirrhosis of the liver, we would know. You know what I mean? You would not be looking like you're looking. I go, I really feel like, I mean, everything you're telling me is exactly what I was suffering from. You know, it's just this thing that comes on. Usually, it comes on after you eat. You know, because you're digesting. You know, your intestines. And I think, man, just try this. Try it. And we talked every day for that first week. I remember.
Yes, we did. And thanks for queuing that story, that big, very good part of the whole story, which I left out. But yes, it's true. Kino and I were talking, backstage on WhatsApp, even when we weren't together, because I knew I needed to know something more, and I knew he could tell me a whole lot more, just so I could, have a better idea of what I was getting into as far as the Muscadine was concerned. Yeah. So yeah, and that was it. On day one, I started getting results from day one after the very first dose, because by the time I woke up, like I said, I took the 2 tabs before I went to sleep. Woke up, and usually when I wake up, the first thing I reach out for is my soursop, and I realized I didn't have to. I was like, whoa, I mean, come on now. First,
what's in this shit?
yeah. I was like, hey, I mean, I met Tanya, cool people. I feel really good about them. So yeah, maybe they are like, God sent from somewhere, So yeah, very excited about it. I talked to my brother Raja about this. I was like, hey, this thing that Tanya gave me, it looks like it is legitimate, Anyway, so yeah, and it's now day 16. It's now day 16 of me being on Muscadine, MusNatural, and I feel another thing. I have prolonged my sleep time by an hour to an hour and a half, and I can tell I can work again. For you, for those who don't know, I'm pretty much nocturnal. I do have a family too, two bustling, beautiful girls, my wife, and so there are demands during the day, right? School runs, all that, but I work at night. So, the idea of your energy levels tending to be really low at times and your sleep being affected, if not disturbed, happens a lot. But anytime I sleep, I just realize, I mean, it's a longer sleep. I don't sleep as lightly anymore. It's not to say I feel groggy or sleepy before I sleep. No, it's when I hit that pillow, I go.
Yeah. And I have to interrupt. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to interrupt because you took the Muscadine the very next morning after we all met for your
You
pain.
left.
Yes, but Kino took it for a hangover after your club that night. Just sharing. But it's not necessarily that funny because I have met so many musicians, right, in that work with Kino, and they've all said, man, this Muscadine is really good because I always feel better in the morning if I take a bunch before I go to sleep. His brother James, when we were rooming together on one of our trips to Jamaica when Freedom was being produced, the album, James would say, "Where's your Muscadine tea?" And I'm like, "Why, James? I need like 10. I need them before I go to bed because I don't want to wake up with a hangover because we go right to the studio." And it does help, right? Because here's the deal.
It absolutely no doubt about it. Muscadine is the greatest anti-hangover medicine I've ever tried, and it's just again a nature of the business that I'm in. That sometimes virtually any gig is going to end up with once you get off that stage, man, what are you gonna do? You gotta sometimes, more often than not, you're gonna take it to the end because you're exhilarated, you're excited, you're feeling great, you're having fun.
The socialite.
And exactly. The part of the lifestyle that we live it has its drawbacks, its late nights, its indulgence in one thing or another, and Muscadine wipes out the whole bad effect of that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so I one of the things I do want to stop us, because we're, getting on 50 minutes, and it just, the time flies, especially when you have guests that really function, both of you, Kofi and Quino, at the kind of highest levels where most people begin to deteriorate, like staying up all night, dealing with your kids, your family, your finances during the day, that high stress, it does begin to rust you, it does begin to break most people down. And I've seen just in Quino, and I think, you've become even more consistent with Muscadine this past year as we've worked on growing our business together, Team Quino Tanya. And I've seen you get younger, man. I mean, honestly, younger. Your skin is less dry. You move smoother. You're just, there's just something more youthful about you. And I know that's the same for me. That's, I got to tell you, people say, Tanya, why are you successful? How do you sell it? I said, I don't have to say a word. People follow me on Facebook, and they remember, they remember who I am 6 months ago, and what I look like now, and what I do now. And it's an easy correlation to make to the power of antioxidants in your life. I know it sounds really weird. It's not like antioxidants, some new religion, but you know what? If you're going to choose a religion that is made by God and nature and changes the function of your body and your mind, then I'm proud of the Church of MusNatural, because it really does do that for a lot of people. It's really kind of, I need to just put to thank Kofi. He and his brother really made a big dedication to this, and made a rather large purchase of MusNatural and extract. But we needed to get it there. And Raja, his brother, was coming, but there was a little bit of an interruption. And there was a woman who we'll all meet soon enough. Her name is Chizda, who I met in New York when it was cheaper for me to carry the Muscadine to New York in person than it was to overnight it. And I met this most amazing woman who has been plagued by lupus for years. And a really terrible kind of lupus that actually causes your skin to split open. I had no idea about this one. And she will soon be talking with us, because she's now, Kofi, please, just share her response. But she called me and said, Tanya, a wound that had happened and had surgery right before I met you usually would take months to heal. And you didn't tell me to do this, but I'm on an airplane for 13 hours. I just started dropping muscadine extract on it. And the infection and the swelling was gone when I got off the plane.
Wow.
I know. And I don't like to share stuff like that because it sounds a little too woo. But Kofi, share.
She told us the other night, and my reaction was, wow, like what Quino is saying, because she basically directly applied the drops of the extract on her wound, because she had just had surgery. I think she got an infected vein, is what I get from I think a very small procedure she had done in the past. I'm not too sure exactly what, but I think she did some blood work. Yeah, she did some blood work. So through that, the wound from the needle got infected. That's the last time she was in the US, maybe about 3 weeks ago. Came to Ghana, and at that point, it was getting. She didn't realize it was infected, but luckily she went back to the States for the time that you had met her, Tanya. And that's when she found out that it was actually infected. So, of course, very painful and whatnot. But what you told me this, where she applied the extract directly onto the affected area, the swelling went down. The pain also was diminished. That's what she told us.
So such a blessing. And so we'll be hearing more from her. And I want to once again put out there that She's has an amazing. I don't want to steal her fire because I simply can't. But she has a global style and beauty brand that is more about the empowerment of women than anything I've ever come across. Plus, the clothes are just so extraordinary. And
Wow.
This is how God and synchronicity work.
Exciting.
When I was in Ghana, I had a big party to go to, right? King Mello's party with the musicians. And so I didn't want to buy a dress from the street that looked like everybody else. I saw this little boutique. I found this dress. I put it on. It was like a glove. I took a couple pictures, put it on Facebook. And the very next morning, Kofi texted me, that's like my best friend. She designed that dress. That's her dress. And it turns out she's that woman who is now committed to
way.
Yeah, way.
Wow.
Yeah, coming to Florida and sharing her artistry, her journey.
Wait.
By that time, she will have been on Muscadine for months, and she'll have a true glory story.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Vivi,
Yeah.
can you put up the were you able to put up the conference piece?
Okay, let me can. Yeah,
It's okay if you can. It's all right. We just have a few more minutes.
We're talking about Orlando now?
Yeah, we're talking about Orlando because, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I just want to share with people because I know that, we've had a lot of pandemic and a lot of conferences being canceled, but I've been to several and I'm speaking at one. I'm speaking to a 100 or so hospitals in Carolina's Healthcare and Public Relations Association annual meeting in Asheville. And we're going to talk about how, it's time for a new approach to healthcare. For those of you that don't know, I've spent the past 35 years of my life in very traditional healthcare environments, consultant to hospitals and physicians on how to win and sustain the loyalty of female patients. And when I fought cancer head on 9 years ago, I knew that system had a lot of cracks, and I've been recovering from believing in that system, which I do. I mean, allopathic medicine was a key factor in saving my life, along with functional nutrition and other things that normal medical doctors usually don't embrace. So this is a point in my life that I am bringing it all together, that finally I can say proudly that I support natural approaches to medicine as much as I support modern medicine, and there's a way to join them and do it better. That is really, to a great extent, what Orlando is going to be about. And we're looking at having not just our movers and shakers within the organization, but those that maybe really know very little about what we're doing. But I put this up, and I asked Vivi to put it up because if you go to Mike, if you're on or somebody's on, Lynette, can you put the IQMK events? There is a place to register. We are meeting in Orlando, right? International Drive, the Avanti Palms Resort and Conference Center. And the price that you'll see listed as you register is $299, but it really includes everything. These speakers that I told you about, a Grape Arbor reception with appetizers, smorgasbord, open bar, entertainment. Then we're also going to have a motivational speaker. I can't tell you yet who it is. And then we're going to have an after party. One of the things we really want to do is celebrate the globalism of health. And IQK at its heart is global. Charles, he put up the American flag that's on here, the Ghanaian flag, the Jamaican flag, the Haitian flag needs to be up there along with the Mexican flag. So we have just grown so much in the past year. And it is, of course, attributed to, and Philippine, we're the Filipino flag. Come on, Charles. This is crazy what Mike's vision has done. So globally, we want to have like an Afrobeat DJ party. I'm talking to Judy. We want to have a
Yeah.
Latin DJ. We want to have, and of course, Big Mountain will perform, and Quino. All of that is included. But really important is our nutrition and wellness program. You'll get a certification as a product specialist. You'll be getting takeaway business models, USBs of business plan, templates to run a successful wellness business. You'll also have a gala. We're going to have, dress up. You can dress up in one of Chista's beautiful gowns. We're going to have a gala that night. We're also going to have this workshop on finding your purpose and planning the path to the life that you want. Included, of course, are all your meals during the conference. We have a global style lounge that we'll be talking about. And then we have a goodie bag. We have sponsors. The goodie bag will have over $200 in gifts. Now, here's the secret. I don't know what the heck are you doing there, Viv?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Here's the secret. There's a code, and the code will not be up much longer than this week. The code is Orlando 75. Orlando 75. And if you go in, all of this stuff will be $224 for 3 days of the most transformational experience with really cool people. We'll have a minimum of 100, but we're hoping for about 200, 250. So please help. Please spread the word. We'll have Ghana in the house. We'll have Jamaica in the house. We'll have Mexico. Philippines is giving us some hassle with these visas. So everybody put that juju on the Philippines. So
that's right. That's right. We got to open up the Philippines.
I have to meet these people. They have really brought me to a new level of myself. So we are closing up. I love you, Kofi, with all my heart. I haven't known you for but a few hours on this planet. And, goes without saying, Quino, I live my mornings trying to figure out how to make you the man the world needs right now. And Vivi,
you're doing an amazing job, Tanya.
Thank you, baby. My sister, my friend. This young woman is going to knock out Mexico and help.
Hell yeah, Viviana.
Yeah, and Mike, you're on the phone. Everyone's on the phone tonight. Love it. And remember, please go on to Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and download this, just even if you don't listen to it, because it helps our numbers, it helps our ratings. Vivi, take us out, and we'll see you all next week when we have an amazing keynote speaker from Orlando that will be there. She'll be interviewed next week, and I'll put that out on Friday. Okay, Vivi, take us out.
So many things happening. So excited. Thank you, Quino and Kofi, for joining us today in our podcast. And we want to wish everyone a healthy and positive and
pain-free,
full of grace. Yes, pain-free. So we can keep doing what we need to do. Please share about MusNatural, share our podcast. People need to know about this. There is so much power and knowledge. And share. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week, where we're going to remind you again about Orlando and share more amazing information on MusNatural. Have a great week.
And I'll see you soon, Ralph.
Bye.
Bye.
Great job, Tanya and Vivi.